So up until this point, both Barakat and Ridwan have been working on this project over here in master branch. We have, if you click on this, you see that we have branches and we have just one branch, which is master branch. I know the question you have is, what does master branch mean? Well, because it says branches and we can only see one branch here. And you might have noticed one issue with the way we were doing things. The issue is, if it's my first day on the job and I just change the title, but maybe the title I change is something that we don't want. We don't want that change. Maybe because I changed something on the code and it breaks our website or it breaks our application, But I was actually able to change it successfully so easily, and I pushed to the master branch. So maybe Barakat didn't even know that I've added that change, and there is a big problem, So the question now is, what is master branch? Well, master branch is the default branch in Git. The master branch is for production ready version of a project. The version that users can see, they can use. So for example, let's say we are working, we are part of Facebook development team. So we are the one developing maybe Facebook applications, Instagram applications, and everything you are seeing there, developers believe that they are ready to be used products, production ready projects. So production ready projects are pushed to the master branch. So this master branch has the production ready version of your project. So people are already using it. So if Ridwan just come there, maybe I don't have experience, or I just have this feature and I need to add it, and I'm adding it directly on that master branch. So that means if you are using Facebook, anything can just happen. You just see that all your messages are gone, because someone somewhere is writing some things without testing, they're just adding it directly to the live project. Or probably Ridwan is trying to chat with his side chick, and all of a sudden someone did something at the back end, trying to work on the master branch, and the messages you are sending to your side chick is getting delivered to your wife at home on her own Facebook inbox. So, it's going to cause a lot of issues. So once a team is ready to go public with a new version of their products, they push their codes to the master branch. As they work on new features, they can create other branches where they can test and make modifications. And when they are ready to go public, they merge those changes into master branch. I know you are like, Ridwan, how do we create branches? So I'm trying to think of how to like put this master branch of a thing, like use real life scenario, like something that we are very, very familiar with. So what can I say? It's just like, okay, let's say you visit a canteen or restaurant and they are cooking. You can't see what they are doing at the back end, like in their kitchen. They are mixing a lot of things, whereby someone is going to mix some Maggi with something, then pass it to another department, like, okay, you mix some other things. So, and on the front end, what you do is you sit down, you go there, you order for food, and they provide the food for you. So imagine someone somewhere is just coming directly to be adding Maggi to that food that you are being served. So it's going to cause a lot of issues. Probably the Maggi is going to be too much at that moment, or the salt is going to be too much. So it is better you create a branch that on that branch you can work on it, and once you've tested it, everything is working fine, there is no bug, and you are satisfied with the code quality, then you can push directly to the master branch. So for example, it's one thing we've actually been seeing. Sometimes you wake up on Facebook and you notice some changes. It's not that they just woke up and be like, okay, let's change these things. They've been on it, they've created a development environment whereby they've made those changes before, maybe some months before you even notice. They've done those changes, they've tested those changes, and they are satisfied with the performance of those changes. Then they are like, yes, we can push it to Facebook environment for users to see. So as a user, you just sleep one day, you see that Facebook is blue, and the next day you wake up and see that Facebook is black. So it's because they've actually worked on some things. They've been working behind the scenes, and they are added, to the whole environment when they know that okay, this is not going to cause any issue. So you don't want to put things that will break your website or your application into what we call production. So which is what the user sees, which is what the user interacts with. So if you're a big company like Facebook, that could mean you will lose millions of dollars in revenue if you have a bug that lasts a few hours. So I'm going to show you a more realistic workflow that you will have, and that is what is called branching. So you can see my slide over here. So it is called branching, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Over here, I have a visual of what Git is really, really good at. Up until now, we've been working on what we call master branch. So this is the master branch. We've been working linearly. So you can think of master branch as the authority. And, this is the right way that, how is it? Let me mute us. Mute everyone. Okay, so this is the right way that our app or our website should look. And when I added, let's say I added cool background title, I changed it to cool. I went from, I think, from background generator, that was the title. So I went from here to cool generator, I made a change. And when Barakat came and be like, you know what, Ridwan, you have to capitalize that word. She made those changes and pushed to GitHub. She went from here to here. So we are just going in a linear fashion from one end to another on a straight line. So, but like I said the other time, it's a bit of a problem. So a better thing to do is what we call branching. And let's say I want to change the title. I want to from background generator, I want to change it to cool background or cool generator. I will create a branch. So on that branch, that is where I'll be working on. So everything here is still looking fine. Everybody is fine. Then once I've tested that feature that I want to work on, I know that, okay, this thing is working on perfectly. So I'm not disturbing this production line. So I will just branch off. I will create a copy of that project whereby we have the original copy. So if I create a copy, that copy is just what can I say? We have, let's say we are in a factory and everything is working on a smooth line from one production line to another. But then here, I want to make a copy because I want to make some changes to that copy of that project at that particular version. So once I branch off, just I make a copy where these things are they are still working fine. So this is a normal project, it's working fine. So I can just branch off, create a copy of that project, make my little changes, test everything that is working fine. And once everything is working fine, I can probably do some other actions too. So for now, users are not affected because users are still seeing the same version they are seeing every day. But you've created a copy of that project to work on so that you are not affecting. So if I make any changes here, it's not going to affect whatever the users do because I'm not working directly on this thing. So let's just see that we are the users. We are seeing these 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and it is kind of light blue in color. So Ridwan is a developer. he made a copy of this project here into branch, he can add a lot of colors to this. So presently, he has changed this to another color. So he has changed this to another color, and as a user, you are not affected with whatever is doing. You are still seeing this. So once read one is done, and all the developers in that team review, like, okay, this thing is right, okay, this thing is working fine, we've tested it, and everybody on that team is okay with it. Then we can bring it into the master branch, which is what you see over here. We can merge it to the master branch. So immediately we merge it, a user will notice okay, something has changed. So once a user notices, then users won't have any issue if the application is not giving them any error. So that is the cool thing about branching. So a user doesn't really care. But imagine, okay, read one is working on this master branch, and I'm doing trial and error, like, okay, is this video call, is it going to work on my app? I added it. Oh, it's not going to work. What should I add? I added another thing. As you are adding it, users are seeing it. They're not feeling comfortable with it because it's going to break your heart at a point. Because if I branch off, I can do trial and error here, like, okay, this thing is not working on this environment, it's not working on iOS. I can make some changes. Okay, it's not working fine on Android. On Android, people cannot make up with my application. They cannot operate their camera. They can't do this. So you can test. It is when you've tested it and all developers are like, okay, this thing is working fine. They've agreed on it. Then we can match to this. So if you remember, there was a time Facebook doesn't have, WhatsApp doesn't have a voice call. WhatsApp doesn't have video call. It's just chatting. They don't even have status. So they tested it, like, is this thing working? So if it is working, then the next day you update your app, you see that you have new features. So that is what is happening behind the scenes. We are software developers and we have to understand this workflow. So only when this branching, the work you are doing, only when it has finished, when, presently we have read one and Barakat in that team. So only when, read one branched off, only when Barakat review this feature, like, okay, this feature is working fine, we've tested it and everybody on the team is okay with it, then we can bring it back to master, as you see over here. So then, so we have another feature here, another branch, which is called big feature branch. And you can keep going for a long time on your own branch, doing a lot of things. And only when you are done, you do what we call merge into master. Let me use merge. You can use merge. I'll use merge. So you merge into master. And I'm going to show you how that works. So presently, we have these two guys. So we have Ridwan's computer. We have Barakat's computer. Oops, I closed that already. So I'm coming. I want to go back into the companies. So this is Barakat's computer on different line. Okay. So we have Ridwan here. So we have, for example, we have Barakat's computer over here, and we have I'm coming. Okay. So we have Barakat's computer over here with all the files of the project that she is working on, and we have Ridwan's computer over here with all the files too. So Barakat and Ridwan both have their workstations, their development environment set up. So this is Ridwan's computer, Ridwan's development environment, and this is for Barakat. So Ridwan and Barakat have been working on the master branch. You can see it. So both of them have been working on the master branch. So if you check Ridwan's computer now, you see that. And you'll be wondering, like, okay, how do I know which branch I'm working on? There is actually a command for that. So let me just clear this. So if we do git branch, so git branch is going to tell you all the branches available. So we want to make sure that we are both up to date. So we can just do git pull just to pull the changes that we have. Then I'll go into Barakat's computer. Barakat also is going to do git pull just to make sure she has the latest version of the project on her computer. So you can see it's already up to date. So both of us are already up to date. You can see that. So we both have the latest version of the product. So Barakat is going to, like, you know, okay, let's say Ridwan is now working on a new feature. And because it's better workflow not to work on master branch as a developer. You don't want to work on master branch from what I've explained already. Like, you don't want to break the app whereby users are still using it and you haven't tested your code if it's working fine and all those. So it's actually a good tip generally. Don't work on master. If you want to work on any new feature at all, always branch off. So how do I branch off? Like, you do git branch. This is going to display all the branches you have. So presently, like I said, Git has master branch as the default branch. So doing git branch is going to show me that I have only one branch, and that is the master branch. But we can add more branches to this. So how do we do that? So if we go back to this, we have little feature branch. So I'm just going to create that. So this is Ridwan. Ridwan's working development environment. So Ridwan is going to do git branch. So the name of the branch, that is the next thing. So you do little feature. So that is the name of the branch. And this is descriptive enough because we want to make some little features. So if I do this now, then you can just do git branch again to check the branches you have. You can see this. We have little feature. We have master branch. And another thing you would notice there is master branch is highlighted with this star, which means you are presently on the master branch. So that means any changes that I'm going to make here now is still on the master branch. So the only way, or don't let me say the only way, because there are other ways, there are other commands. But as far as this section is concerned, the way to enter this or to enter another branch is using this command, git checkout. So you are checking out another command. So git checkout, then the name of the command. So I do git checkout little feature. So you can see that switched to branch little feature. You can see the message over here. So that means I am now on little feature branch. So what I've done is I branched off master. I created a copy of master onto little feature branch so that I can make some changes on it while master is still there untouched. So if I do git branch again, you see that I am now on little branch, little feature branch. So let me clear this. And the next thing we want to do is we want to make some changes to our project because we are now safe. So I can do anything, I can delete anything now. It's not going to affect the master branch because the master branch still has the original code there. Until I am done with this and everybody on the team is satisfied, like, oh, Ridwan, you've done a good job, then we can push it into production. That is when we are going to merge this master branch with the branch I created together. Then I'm going to check the differences. I'm going to put everything together. So let's say on this project now, let's make some changes. Let's say we have this title here, current CSS background, and I think this is not right. This English is not right. Let's say I want to change this. So I can just go here and make some changes. So I'm going to change this to this is the background. Yep. So let's say I made this change and I click Ctrl S I press on Control S just to save this file. So again, I have to do my simple workflow, and you just have to get used to these things, because the more you do it, you know, you'll be building that muscle, and all these things will stick to you, and it will be easier for you to be doing. So I can actually do my chaining here, but then I don't want to do chaining. So if you want to do chaining, remember you can do git status. Then once you run this, then run another one. So let's just so that we actually follow along. So I'll do git status. So this show me like, okay, you made some modifications to index.html. So that means we are ready to commit. So to commit, I'll use my, git add dot. So if I use this now, then I do git status again just to check. So this is just a normal thing as a developer, just to make sure you are where you need to be. You can see that. So before, this was in red. So I did git add, and now it is in green color. So that means I'm doing something right. So the next thing now is to do what? And you have some changes here, changes to commit. So if you want to like remove this from you want to unstage it, just do git reset head blah 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 and the file, and it's going to remove it. But for now, we don't want to remove it. So the next thing we have to do is we do git commit -m, then the message of that commit. So what is going to be in the message? I can say I change the text. So oops, I clicked on something else or what? So let me just drag my terminal back up. Git status. Something happened that time. Oh boy. I need to exit this. So that means I'm not in the project folder. You can see that I'm not in the project folder. As if we do this, I think my VSC automatically restarted, probably due to some errors. So I'm just going to go back into that folder. And what do we have? We have our project files. So let me clear that. Then let me see the status of our project so far. Okay, we have this and we need to commit. So I'm going to do git commit, git commit -m, then the message, I'll say changed the tests. So I change the test, I do this, then let me do git status again, just to see the status, nothing. So you see this, you're on branch little feature, so nothing to commit. So the next thing for me is just to push. So I'm going to clear this. So now, in order to let GitHub know about the changes you've made, we need to do git push. So if I do git push now, let's see what's going to happen. We got an error. The error we got is fatal. The current branch little has no upstream branch. So to push the current branch and set the remote as upstream, use this. So you can just copy this feature, copy that command and press enter again. Let's see what's going to happen. So we are still waiting for that to get pushed to GitHub. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so here we can see that it has been pushed, and it gives us some, like, if you want to like request for this little feature. Let's say Barakat wants to request for that. She's going to, visit here and do all those. So the next thing for us is we have to go back to GitHub now. You can see it. We got something on GitHub automatically. What do you notice? You notice that we have this in here, and it says little feature add recent pushes less than a minute ago. So And what do you want to do? We want to compare and pull. So if you hear people saying PR means pull request. PR, pull requests. So let's click on this. And now I have my PR here, and we can actually write some things like, I changed the tests. Then let's click on create pull request. So it brought some options here. You can see it. So you see how it says I can merge the pull request. So that means I want to merge it. You can see it. I want to merge it to the master branch. Well, if you go back to our diagram, I've created this little feature branch. And now what I'm saying is I am done with this little feature branch. So I'm saying that I want to merge this into master. So it's just like I'm saying, because Barakat is the owner of she created the repository, and if you remember, I cloned that repository before I started making my changes, creating my branches and all those. So if I raise the PR now, I'm saying like, Barakat, you know what? I've made these new changes and I'm ready to add them to the master branch. So what do you think? So is it okay for me to merge into master branch? And what is going to happen, or what is most likely going to happen, is Barakat is going to log on into our GitHub account on her laptop, and she's going to see this pull request. So once you see this pull request, you can see, let's scroll up now. You can see it. Once she sees this pull request, she'll be able to see all the pull requests I've made, and she's going to say, okay, Ridwan made this pull request, Ridwan made some changes, and she's going to look through all those. She can click on this, files changed. So she can actually go through the code like, okay, we add current CSS background, and Ridwan make some changes like, this is the background now. So if she likes it, if she likes whatever I've actually done, she can actually reply to, like, you can see this. So she can add a comment here. So if I click here, she can say, okay, this looks, this is cool. So she can say, this is cool. That's good. So she can comment, and once she's done with the comment, she says, start a review. So she added a comment, and this comment is pending, so I can actually log on onto my own system too. I'll see her comments, and we can actually be chatting through these changes. So instead of we setting up a physical meeting and talking about the code and me showing her my system, like, this is what is happening, or probably we're in different location, I'll send different files, and I'll be, that might be kind of stressful. But with Git and GitHub, it makes life easier for us as developers. We can collaborate, we can communicate. So she can just go back to, finish your review, and, she can approve. So because you can see this. So I can actually submit, because I'm using my own account as two, what's it called, two persons. So we might have some issue here. So she can approve, she can request some changes, submit review. So you see that. So we can resolve conversation. We can actually, she can do a lot of things here as the owner of the file. So once she's done and she's okay with everything, then Barakan can say, okay, I want to confirm this match. I want to match this pull request. So you can see it. So match pull request. So merging means this is going to merge my little branch with my master branch. Or sorry, it's going to merge my own little feature branch with the master branch of the project. So I'm going to do this now. But usually, you don't want to merge your own pull requests. So somebody on that team that has higher rank, probably your tech lead or your what can I say, the product manager or something that you are working under as a developer. Someone is going to review your work and see that, okay, these codes are going to work very fine. We've tested it and we think we are ready to merge it into our production. What's it called? So then Barakat will confirm the merge and you can see it. So after the merge, Barakat can decide to delete the branch. Sometimes in some companies, once they've merged that into what's it called, production or to the master branch, they delete the branch because it's not necessary again, unless Ridwan wants to like continue working on that branch. So if we go back into our code now, let's see what we have. So let's click on commit now. You see that we have merge pull request from Ridwan's feature, and it has been verified because Barakat have gone through it. He has tested it and said like, okay, fine, this thing is going to work. And this was committed 32 seconds ago. So Barakat can just, anybody can click on this, either Barakat or Ridwan, and click on this and see the changes. So you can see that we have current CSS background and it has been merged to this. So that's cool. And you can also browse the files. So that is that. And the next thing we have to talk about, which is probably going to be the last thing for today, is conflicts. Conflicts can arise whereby Ridwan thinks the name should be cool background and Baraka thinks no, instead of cool background, the name should be blue background, because they can't see, they are using code to communicate. So let's go into that and let's see what's going to happen. Let's say that on Barakat's laptop, so let's just on Barakat laptop, okay, Barakat is just going to do pull for the next one so that she's going to get the updated version of that product, of that project. So you can see that it brought some information like Ridwan, it has some little feature which was merged into, all these and updated, all those things. So you have all these information which you can actually go through. So let's say Barakat wants to create a new big feature. So like we have here, over here. So this is Ridwan creating his own little feature, and we have Barakat about to create our own big feature. So back on Barakat's laptop, I'm going to clear this. Let's say Barakat wants to create a new big feature, and she'll say, like we already know, Git branch, then the name of the feature, which is big feature for now. So let's do Git status, nothing. So let's do Git branch to see if the branch has been created. So we have big feature, and the next thing is we want to branch into that big feature. So we do Git checkout master, Git checkout big feature. We branch into that. Then we use Git branch again to check where we are. So we are inside big feature. So let's do Git. Let's clear the screen. Yep. So we have a what's it called now? So let's say Barakat wants to make some changes to our own file, and she'll say here that she wants to change the whole generator. She wants to change it back to background generator because all the users are complaining that the title is, is changed and they don't like code generator. They want it the way it was before. They love the old, what's it called? Old title. So you can change this to background. Oops. Background generator. And so she has changed that. She has to follow the normal workflow that she has been doing. So she has to do git add all, then and git commit, just to make this faster. Git commit and say she needs to type the title of the commit, background, reverting back to old title. Then she can do git push. So this is training. So she pressed enter and she got this message, the current branch big future has no upstream branch. So what she's going to do is she'll copy this again and send this. So this is actually straightforward. The current branch big feature has no upstream branch. And if we go to GitHub, we can see that if you go into our code now, so we can see that we have big feature, we have master, we have little feature. And Barakat is trying to push because presently she's where? She's inside, she has branched off to, let's see, big feature. And if you remember, Barakat created this on her laptop presently. She created it now. She hasn't pushed that. So she wants to put her changes, she wants to push our changes to this big feature branch. But if we check our GitHub presently, there is no branch named big feature. So that is why we are getting this particular message like fatal. The current branch, big feature, has no upstream branch. So to do that, you have to set that branch in the upstream. So to do this, you copy this code, you press. So let's wait for that to run. Yeah. So, and you can also make multiple commits inside a single branch. So let's say after adding this, Barakat now say, okay, I need to add exclamation mark. So she comes here again, add exclamation mark, and let's clear, oops. Come on. So she comes again, click save, let's clear this. And here again, she's going to do the same command like she did the other time. Do this now. You see that this thing is not bringing back that message like the upstream something doesn't actually exist. So let's go back to GitHub. So we have this push to GitHub. So if I go back to GitHub, you see this message now. Big feature had recent pushes less than a minute ago. So she can actually, do this and, and let's just check the changes first before we actually pull. So if I go here now, then pull request. So, okay, create pull request. And she can actually merge to master because everything is working. So she can merge to master, confirm merge, we have this. So let's now say read one, because I want to show us the conflict that might arise. So read one on his own system, read one probably forgets to pull the changes from GitHub, the new changes. Probably he's not aware of the changes and he decided to create a new branch. So read one can do, what can we call this branch? Okay, conflicts. So read one created another branch, which is conflicts. So let's check. So presently read one has how many branches? He has 3 branches and he's presently on a little feature branch. So read one needs to branch into the new, he needs to check out the new branch he created because he wants to make some other changes too. So read one did git checkout conflicts. So that conflict is just the name of the branch. It doesn't have any meaning. I just want to show us like, how conflict is and how you can resolve conflicts when you are using Git and GitHub. So now in the conflict branch, let's check where are we? Conflict branch. Oops. Come on. I'm recording. Okay, cool. So let's say read one is just saying like, why do we even have this code generator in the first place? It doesn't really make sense. So read one deletes it, like we don't need it. So why should we be using it? So read one save this. Remember, read one is in another branch, which is conflict branch. So Ridwan saves this, then Ridwan check git status. Oops, come on. Ridwan did git status, just check the status and say, okay, I've modified index.html. So Ridwan can actually do, let's do CLS just to clear the screen. Then Ridwan can do git add, then git commit. Let's commit this change and do git commit. And Ridwan can, what commit can we say? We can say we don't need removed, let's say removed title because we don't need it. So so Ridwan now go back to master. So how do you go back to master branch? You do git checkout master because you want to check out that master branch. So inside this master branch, Ridwan now says, okay, before I push this code to GitHub, I want to make sure that I have the latest version of master. Like whatever version master is on GitHub, I want to have that latest version too on my system. So Ridwan is going to do git pull, just to get the latest version. So that is still coming down. So Ridwan now has the latest version from GitHub. So Ridwan now did something like, okay, I have the latest version. Okay, let me go back into my conflicts branch. So Ridwan did check out conflicts. So Ridwan switched to conflict branch now. So let's check git branch. Okay, so Ridwan now wants to match conflict branch with master branch to have his changes effected. So Ridwan is going to do git merge master. So he wants to merge, whatever we have in master into conflict. So Ridwan do this. You see that? So we got a message. It says auto merging, index this, conflicts, context, match conflicts. You see this? Automatic merge failed. Fix conflicts, then commit the result. So if you go back, so before we resolve the what's it called? Let's go back to our diagram. So what is basically happening is Barakat has been working on big feature, which we already know, and she has pushed that feature to GitHub. She has merged a feature that she has worked on into master. So now master has big feature, but Ridwan on the other hand, Ridwan has created another branch, and Ridwan has been working on his own on that conflict branch. And the conflict branch doesn't know anything about, master. So I'm saying that when I got master update from GitHub, and I check out conflict back to my, my branch. So, and I'm doing merge here. So I'm saying that merge whatever master is, whatever version of the project master has into my own conflict master. So merge whatever we have in master, which includes Barakat's big feature that she has worked on and pushed to the GitHub repository, and she has merged into master. So I'm now saying that merge whatever current changes we have in GitHub, merge it, I pull it down, then merge it into my own branch. And here in my own branch, I've Barakat made some changes where she changed this to what's it called? To something else, and here I deleted it. So these are conflicting. imagine Baraka changed something like we have background picture. So she made some changes to that and capitalized it and added some exclamation marks. But here in my own code, I am removing it totally. So there's going to be conflict. So conflict in Git, in collaboration work and all this do happen when both of us are making changes to the same thing on the same code. So if we are making the same changes to that file, GitHub is going to get confused like, what are you guys doing? Do you want me to go mad? Okay, you know what, guys? Barakat has made some changes. Ridwan has also made some changes to the same location, to the same thing. Then there's going to be conflict. So that conflict, you guys need to sit together, communicate with each other, and agree on what is going to happen. Because you people cannot just sit there and be making me mad. So which one do you want? This one is making some changes. You are removing that changes. So what is going to happen? What is happening? So just let me know. So GitHub is going to tell you okay, there is conflict because I don't understand what is happening. So which one do you want? Is it that you want to retain that changes that Barakat has made, or you want to remove it totally? Remember, these changes are done on the same thing. So that is why we are having conflict. And sometimes probably because of the project I'm working on. So on a normal day, VS Code can suggest do you want to keep these changes or you want to retain your present changes? So inside the conflict branch, I do git merge master, and I get messages like conflict is happening. So now, if I check my HTML code where I made those changes, you get this weird syntax. So it's overwhelming at first, you don't know what is happening, but it is easy to see what is happening. We have head. Head is where my branch is at that moment. And it shows me that, here, you can see that we have these less than signs to the head here. So it's saying that you have some changes which you don't have anymore. So, and I have some changes in master, which is this. So what do you want to do? Do you want to delete this totally, or do you want to retain this? So now, as a developer, I can contact Barakat you know what, I've made some changes and you made some changes to the same location. So what do we want to do? Do you want to keep the background generator title, or you want me to remove it? And Barakat can be like, okay, you know what, Ridwan, the best thing for us is let's retain this background generator title. So, and I'll be like, okay, fine, let's retain it. So once we agree on that, the next thing for me is just to delete these syntaxes. So I can just delete this, then delete this. So once you do that, then everybody is fine. So I can save this now. And the next thing for me is I'll come back here and do git status just to see where I am. You see this? So you have on merge part, face conflict, run commit, blah 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 on merge part. So both modified. So that means both of us modified this particular test. Then let me clear this. So we have modified the status, and what I will do now is I will do git add, then add everything, then I will do git commit. So what's going to be my commit message? I can say fixed merge issues. Then so we have that. So let's do git status again just to see where we are. So if I do git status, you see, on branch commits, nothing to commit, working trickling. And I'm going to do git push again. I got this, and so the reason why I'm getting this, every time is because, it has no upstream, blah, 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 and I can do something. So if I do git push origin, then the name of the branch conflicts. So I'm not going to get this message again. Let's see. Yeah, that has gone. So if I go back on GitHub now, you see that I have some changes here. So we have the complete branch, and you know, so if I click here now, we have the complete branch which have been created. But if you click on it, you see that there is probably, you know, we have some things here. So I can just merge. So I can raise a PR rather. So I want to open a pull request. So pull request is I'm telling Barakat like I've made some changes that I want to add to the master. So I can say um, I have made, I have resolved the conflict. So I can create a pull request now. So once I create a pull request, my work is done. So Barakat on her own end will come to GitHub and come and she will see the pull request, click on it and come down and be like, okay, she can actually check, you know, she can see the changes, she can click on, you know, file changes to see the changes we've made and she'll be like, okay, so you have this, you have that. Then she can actually come back and match that, you know. So she can match that and confirm. So that is basically, I think the hardest you can go with Git. Though we still have some other Git commands like Git stash. We have a lot of them. So which, you know, after this section, I'm going to like share those Git commands with us. So if we go back to this slide, you can see that it's a very, very nice workflow to work with. You know, in few seconds, sorry, in few minutes, and it's still few seconds, 6 million seconds is still few seconds. So you've learned some few commands, and as long as you have this visual model in your mind, and you know that every time you are working on something new, you should always create a branch, and you can name it whatever name you want to give it. Whatever feature you are working on, you can give it that name so that it is kind of descriptive. And every once in a while, you want to pull master and merge master into your branch to make sure that you are not missing out on any updates that other developers on your team or other your other teammates, you know, have worked on and they've pushed to the uh, to GitHub. So once you are done with your feature, once you've worked on whatever you want to work on, you can pull pull a request. So you know, by doing git push and by raising a pull request on your GitHub account, and you can add comments and people will review your files, they'll see your changes. If they want you to make few changes, then they can actually comment and, you know, so you can make the changes, you can do git add, git commits, finally making your changes, then you can match pull requests. And once that's done, then there is a new, you know, new branch, and you know, the team lead can add match that branch into master. So everybody on the team have that version by doing git pull as well. So that is that about Git and GitHub. You know, it does take a bit of time to get used to these commands and a bit of time to get used to this workflow. But it is a really nice workflow to make sure that everybody on the team work on the same files, the same project without causing any errors, and making sure that everybody collaborates well and, you know, everybody is working efficiently. So I hope you found this useful and I hope you've learned one or two things. So that is that. So tomorrow, okay, let me just end this. So tomorrow will be